Hello guys, welcome back to the another session by Azure Developer Community, and I hope you all are doing great. Today we have with us Ms. Itishri Das, who is the Senior Application and Development Analyst at Exchanger, and today she'll be guiding us uh, on how to start our cloud journey from very scratch, and she'll introduce us what is cloud and how can we start using the cloud, and especially to be start with Microsoft Azure. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello everyone. Have a very good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well and are all safe. Thank you, Varun, for providing me this platform for having this session. So yeah, we'll get started. So we have only 1 hour, so we'll have to cover many things. So let me share my screen. Okay. So as you can see my screen, so we'll start Azure Fundamentals, but inside that I will cover all the cloud concept. Okay, from the very scratch level, I'll go through one by one. So before that, we'll have a look on the topics covered to be for this session. First, we'll go through cloud concept. Then we'll directly move to or jump into Azure services. So there are some core Azure solutions are also there: security, in identity, governance, privacy, and then at last we'll cover Azure pricing and how it supports. Okay, so let's get started with our very basic things, cloud. So mostly we'll go through cloud computing. As you see my screen, so I hope everybody know like some little bit basics of cloud. Okay, so let's start from very fundamental, very common understanding from Google itself. So cloud computing is the nothing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. Okay, it enables faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scales. So what is computing services? That will come little later. So before that, we'll try to understand what cloud computing in other terms. Like you can say, cloud computing is a model, okay, for enabling an on-demand access to a shared pool of configurable resources. Your resources means your servers, networks, storage, application, and services. So you can say this cloud computing is ubiquitous. It is nothing but universal. It is on-demand network access and convenient. Okay. So it is rapidly provisioned and released with your minimal management effort. So I'll put it to it very simply, simple way. So you can say cloud computing is the delivery of computing resources as a service. So here what is service? So regardless of the kind of service, cloud computing services provide users with a series of functions. What these functions here? So you can say it is email, storage, then backup, then data retrieval, then you can say some functions like creating and testing your applications, analyzing data, audio, video streaming, delivering software on demand, all these things. Okay. So next, if we moving to the cloud, then basically it means that the resources are owned and managed by your third party provider instead of the end user. So this means you don't need to worry about hardware drives and mainframes or where any of this network and software is located. As far as you, the user, is concerned, it is floating up there in a metaphorical cloud, means which you are able to access via internet. Okay, this is the basic fundamental of cloud computing to start with. If you'll go to next one, cloud model comparison. So what kind of cloud model are there? This is very simple. Like we have basically three types of cloud: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So if you'll go to public cloud, so it is nothing, it is owned by cloud services or hosting providers. So it provides resources and services to multiple organizations and users. It is accessed via your secure network connection, typically over the internet. So what will be the example for this public cloud, you can say? So our AWS, Azure, GCP, Alibaba Cloud, all these are comes under public cloud. If we'll go to next one, private cloud. So here, organizations create a cloud environment in their data center. Organization is responsible for operating these services they provide. So it doesn't provide the services to users outside the organization. Only they will be the self-service access to compute resources provided to the users within your organization. Okay, so if you take any example of private cloud, so you can say OpenStack, VMware, then you can say Dell, Oracle, IBM, HP. HP means like your Hewlett Packard Enterprise. All these comes under your private cloud. Then we'll move to hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud, it combines your public and private clouds to allow application to run in the most, you can say, appropriate location. It allows an organization to leverage some of the benefits of cost, efficiency, and scale that available with a public cloud model. So here you can say organization can retain their management control in private cloud. Okay. So next we'll move to cloud benefits. There are many benefits, so we'll go one by one. Um, so I'll give one liner of definition or understandable, like you can correlate. Okay. In cloud benefits, first is coming, let's say, high availability. I'll come from down, high availability. So here it means there is zero downtime for any application. Zero downtime, yeah, there may be some kind of crashes or outage, but there will be very minimal, rare downtime. Okay. So next we are coming to fault tolerance. Fault tolerance is, one system's ability to continue despite the failure of any one or more of its component. Even one will go down, then next, component will be able to pack up. Pack up in the sense means it will be able to keep your application up. So next is scalability. Scalability, it handles the changing need of an application within the confines of infrastructure via statistical. Then comes to elasticity. Elasticity, it is to it is to match the resources allocated with actual amount of resources need at any given point of the time. So in other words, you can say it is the flexible version of scalability, or you can say it is the dynamic version of scalability. Okay. Then we'll come to global reach. So global reach, it is nothing. It allows business to operate from anywhere and to extend their global reach. Next comes customer latency capabilities. This is the ability to deploy resources in data center around the globe. Okay. So next we can cover agility. Agility is very important because this is the flexibility how you operate in your cloud environment. So it is the ability to rapidly develop, test and launch software application that drives your business growth. Then comes predictive cost consideration. So here end users only pay for the resources that they use. Whatever they use is what they pay for. But billing is based on your actual usage of particular resources in cloud platform. So here you can predict how much cost it will take at the end of your usage. Then we can come to disaster recovery. From the word itself, you can understand that this enables the backup and recovery of remote machines on a cloud-based platform. Okay. Then last but not the least, we can say security. Here I have written security as a cloud benefits, but from practical point of view, Actually, it is a disadvantage of cloud computing. Not in all sector, but yes, security has always been a big concern with the cloud, especially when it comes to sensitive medical records, financial information. Okay, so encryption protects vital information, yes, but if that encryption key is lost, then the data disappears. So this one we can consider security as somehow cloud disadvantages. Okay, then we'll move to cloud services. So here you can see three types of cloud services are there. So one is IaaS, next is PaaS, and third one is your SaaS. So first we'll cover infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service means this bills pay as you go IT infrastructure by renting servers or services. Okay, like your services you can say virtual machines, storage, networks, and operating systems from a cloud provider. Okay, this is the most flexible cloud service actually you can say. Next we'll come to PaaS, means platform as a service. So it provides environment for building, testing, and deploying your software application without focusing on managing underlying infrastructure. So it helps creating your application quickly without focusing on any managing underlying infrastructure. So mostly it focuses on your application development. Then third it is coming software as a service. So as you can see it is written pay as you go pricing model. What does this means? Means it is here you just connect to and use cloud based applications over the internet. Let's say one example, um, Microsoft SS services means it in all includes Microsoft Office 365, Skype, and email, calendars, and what others? Microsoft Dynamics CRM Online, all these things. Okay, you can purchase directly. So this is one overview. So here, if you'll see, I will show you one thing. So you can refer this page. Okay, if you'll go one by one here, so you'll get to know. I'm not covering
Sorry,
every bit of it, but
sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Can you
yes,
please zoom in?
yes, yes. Is it okay?
I think we need to zoom in a little more.
You want it in big screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Let me. Okay, wait. Is this okay?
Yeah, now it's fine.
Okay, thank you. So see, so I have some direct reference link here, so that I was showing right now. So this link I can link somewhere so you can have a look directly. But as of now, I'm not covering each everyone, so we don't have that much time. Okay. So these are very important to start with our cloud journey. So next we'll go to cloud service. So cloud services we have already done. So these are all the basic things you need to keep in mind before starting your cloud environment working. So then we'll directly jump to Azure. So here I'm not explaining what is Azure and all these things because I already explained that Azure is our public, cloud. So you can have a look on internet how what is the new features coming, how it is evolving, what is the market value of these, and you can say what is the like a revenue of all these things, how it is growing. Okay, and it is obviously up to us, our requirement and organization requirement, which cloud we are picking up. Every public cloud has their own merits, demerits, advantages, you can say, or costing effective. So as per our cost effective, as per our requirement, as per our features using in our application or organization, we'll pick any one of our public cloud. So here our topic is Azure. So we'll start with directly with Azure. So here it is comes, here it comes the core Azure services. So what all are these? Let's see. So inside that code Azure architecture components. So these are the very basic. Let's start with this one. So we'll start with regions. So it is very important how, because region is nothing, it represents a collection of data centers, okay, where every servers, every storage, everything will be built out on top of that. So it provides flexibility and scale. It presents data residency. You can select regions close to your users. Okay. There are global services that are region independent. So if you can see here in this script, this PPT, there are many. Inside our India also there are three locations. Southeast is, if you see South India, Central India, West India, you can choose any of as per your user's location. Okay. Next, if you'll come to this one. Okay. I hope it is visible clearly. Okay. Next coming region pairs. So here each Azure region is paired with another region. In an outage, recovery of one region is prioritized out of every pair. Azure system updates are rolled out to pair regions sequentially, but not at the same time. You can see here, and it Azure prefers at least 300 miles of separation. Okay, these are the preferable count they have taken. Just don't go with any hardcore. I mean, strict like 300 miles. When it has to be, but at least 300 miles it has to be. Okay, so this we cover region pair. Then we'll come to availability zones. See, inside Azure region, we have all the availability zone. So these are physically separated locations within an Azure region. It takes availability sets to the next level. It includes one or more DC. DC means here data centers. So it equipped with independent power, cooling and networking. If one availability zone goes down, then other continues to working. Okay. Then if you can see here, these are all the Azure resources. Okay, so Azure resources are components like storage, virtual machines, networks that are available to build cloud solutions. So we all cover in subsequent PPTs. So you can have a just look here. Virtual machine I'll explain, storage account, how it works, virtual network, it all comes your in network security group. Okay, so function will cover SQL database, also will cover app services. So next we'll come to resource group. If you can see this PPT, like it aggregates resources into a single manageable unit. Every Azure resource must exist in one and only one resource group. If you can see here, let's say you will take one resource group RG1. So inside that you can put your web, DB, VM storage, everything in one resource group. Sometimes requirement will be like that in very complex big infra. So what we'll have to do? You'll have to create resource group for all the web and DB. Separately, you'll have to create one resource group for all the virtual machines. Next, you can have a resource group separately for all the storage groups. Okay, it all depends about your infrastructure's complexity. Okay, so next we'll go to Azure Resource Manager. Okay, here Here, if you'll see Azure Portal, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, REST Client, all these are, Azure Resource Manager tools. I'll cover in next slide. So Azure Resource Manager, it provides a management layer that enables you to create, update, and delete resources in your Azure subscription. So this mostly creates, configures, manages, and deletes resources and resource groups also. It controls access and resources. So it helps in automating using different tools and SDKs. So these are all the tools. Okay, you can use any one of those. So mostly in our IT environment, we mostly use PowerShell, Azure CLI, REST APIs. Okay, so Azure Portal we are just taking as a manual thing. Why I'll tell you, Azure Portal you can use for monitoring and Azure Advisor that you can check. But other the configuration things better you'll use PowerShell, Azure PowerShell and Azure CLI. So this all this Azure Resource Manager it stores layouts in JSON files. Remember, okay. So next come to Azure subscription. This is very important. Without this subscription, you can't have access to Azure, and mostly you can't have access to perform any kind of read you can do, but write access and write task mostly. So uh, so Azure subscription provides you with authenticated and authorized access to your Azure accounts. So if you can see here, there will be development subscription, test subscription, production subscription. Okay. So one account can have, I mean, any account can have one subscription or multiple subscription. Like you have only dev, or you may have all the three: dev, test, production. It's up to you what you are using. Okay, so this billing boundary, you can see this generates separate billing reports and invoices for each subscription, but this billing will generate after your usage. We'll come to this part at the end of how we are calculating the Azure pricing using Azure calculator. I'll show you. And access control boundary means it manage and control access to the resources that users can provision with specific subscription. Like let's say you have only dev subscription. Okay, so we'll have the access to only dev subscription, I mean development stage. You can get test access to test or production. So this is the access control boundary. Okay, then we'll move to core Azure workload products. What is this? Let's have a look. So it covers your Azure Compute services. So if you can see here, again it comes virtual machines, app services, container instances, Azure Kubernetes services, Windows Virtual Desktop. We call it as WVD. Okay. So Azure Compute, if you can see this one, Azure Compute is an on-demand computing service that provides computing resources such as disks, processor, memory, networking, and operating system. So we'll see what is virtual machine first. So virtual machine is nothing. These are the software emulations of physical computers. Okay, it includes your virtual processor, memory, storage, and networking. It is IaaS offering means infrastructure as a service offering that provides total control and customization. So this part comes under your with cloud type, not cloud type. You can say cloud service. So it is infrastructure as a service. Okay. Next we'll come to application services. So it is fully managed platform to build, deploy, and scale your web apps and APIs quickly. So this is your PaaS offering, means platform as a service offering with enterprise grade performance, especially security and compliance requirements work with this one all work with .NET Core. Node.js, what else? Java, Python or PHP. Yes, this all works. This will provide you one platform. Next, if you see these two, one is container instances, one is Azure Kubernetes service. So these two actually comes under your Azure container services. Okay. So Azure container services means mostly Azure containers are lightweight. These containers are very lightweight, virtualized environment that does not require operating system management and can respond to any changes on demand. So if you'll see here virtual machine, here you need to check with the operating system management. But here you don't have that requirement of operating system management, and it can respond to change on demand. So if you'll concentrate on this one container instances, what it will do? So it is a PaaS offering that runs a container in Azure without the need of manage a VM or additional services. Okay, again it comes under your platform as a services. Next is Azure Kubernetes services. So what it will do? It is an orchestration service for containers with distributed architecture and large volume of containers. Okay. So these all are container based services. So next we'll come to WVD, Windows Virtual Desktop. So it is a desktop and application, you can say application virtualization actually that runs in the cloud. It usually creates a full desktop virtualization environment without having to run additional gateway servers. So as I can say, this is mostly for automation purpose, like automation in the sense all the configuration or building this Windows Virtual Desktop, multiple WVD. You can do it by automating the things. Like maybe you can use PowerShell, like I already told you. There are some tools, Azure PowerShell, so that you can use. Okay. Then comes Azure Networking Services. So if you see here, there are three things. Very important one. The first is Azure Virtual Network. So we can say it VNet. So it enables Azure resources to communicate with each other, the internet and the on-premises network. So next one is your VPN, Virtual Private Network Gateway. So it is used to send encrypted traffic between an Azure Virtual Network and an on-premises location over the public internet. Then it comes Azure Express Route. Okay, Azure Express Route, it extends on-premises network into Azure over a private connection that is facilitated by connectivity provider. Okay, so all these are comes under your networking services. If you go to next one, it comes the Azure Storage Services. So storage, again you can see there will be blob, disk storage, Azure files, file storage mostly. So container storage blob means it is optimized for storing massive amount of unstructured data such as text or binary data. Disk storage means it provides disk for virtual machines, application and other services to access and use. Then file storage service. So it sets up a highly available network file shares that can be accessed by using the standard server message block. So here SMB means server message block protocol. Okay, there will be one protocol through that this task or activity will happen. So these are we completed up to this is the core Azure workload products. So next we'll move to core solutions. Core solutions means if you are using Azure, as per your requirement, project's requirement, how will give you one solution. There may be many solution. there will be some convenient way, there will be some like complexity way, but the outcome should be, in a proper manner. So which one you need to choose, how to have that feasibility check. Okay, so on that basis we can come to some, point of what's it solutions. So one is Azure Internet of Things. Though this is little high level, so for this, I will not cover much in depth, because even I have also not worked in IoT. But yes, I'll have a overview how you can have that, ability to check if this solution will be the best for your requirement. So let's get started with this one. If you can see here, so first is your Azure IoT Central and Azure IoT Hub. Okay, so if you see here, so Internet of Things, what is this exactly? So it is the ability for devices to, to garner and then relay information for data analysis. Okay, if you'll go for the first option, Azure IoT Central, so it is a fully managed global IoT software as a service solution that makes it easy to connect, and you can say monitor and manage IoT Azures at scale. So next option, it may have Azure IoT Hub. So it is a managed service hosted in the cloud that acts as a central message hub for bidirectional communication. So bidirectional communication means from where to where? So between IoT application and the devices it manages. Okay, these two may have the solution for you if you are using Azure Internet of Things. So it's totally up to our requirement, our solution, our complexity of infrastructure. We'll have to decide. So next solution we may have big data and analytics. Okay. So here this overall solution will include your three sub solutions like Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure HD Insight, Azure Databricks. So out of these three, anyone you can use in your solution. Maybe it will be required that you may have two or three at a time also. Okay. So if you'll go for the first one, Azure Synapse Analytics. So it is a cloud-based enterprise data warehouse. Okay. So it provides limitless analytics services that brings together the enterprise data warehousing and big data analytics. So next it will go for Azure HD Insights. So this is a fully managed but open source analytics service for enterprises. Okay. So third one will come your Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks, it is a fast, easy, and you can say collaborative Apache Spark based analytics service. So I can say it is mostly, you can remember like Apache Spark based analytics service. Okay, so I'm not going much depth of this. I may provide you the link to have a look on that. So next we can see the serverless computing, but before that, I need to have a, you know information about artificial intelligence and machine learning with your Azure cloud. So if you'll go for artificial intelligence and machine learning core solution for Azure's cloud, so there will be three things. One will be your Azure machine learnings. So that will be your cloud based to develop, train, and deploy machine learning models. So if you go for some cognitive services, what does that mean? So that will be your quickly, it quickly enables your application to see, you can say hear, speak, understand, and interpret a user's need. So that is called your cognitive services in artificial intelligence. Then uh, one of those sub core solution may be maybe Azure bot services. Like you can develop intelligent enterprise grade bots. Bots means you can see, I mean chat bots. Okay, so that solution also will come under your artificial intelligence and machine learning. So then we can come to our serverless computing. So what is this serverless computing? First I'll tell, then we'll see the Azure Functions and Azure Logic Apps. So let's say this computing is the, this serverless computing is the evolution of cloud platforms. Okay, in the direction of, you can say, pure cloud native code. So serverless brings developers closer to business logic while insulating them from infrastructure concerns. So it is a pattern actually. It is a pattern that doesn't imply no server, but rather less server. You can't say that okay, there is no server. Serverless means no server. No, we can say it is less server. So serverless code is event driven. Code may be triggered by anything from a traditional HTTP web request to a timer or the result of uploading a file. Okay, so under this we can cover Azure Functions. So Azure Function, if you see, this is a event based code running your service and not the underlying infrastructure mostly. Then if you'll come to Azure Logic Apps, so this actually automate and orchestrate your task and what else it can automate your business processes and workflows. To integrate applications, it will automate and orchestrate both things, it will do for you. Okay, so then we'll go to Azure management tool. So here ARM will, it will come. I already shown this one, but we'll have a glance on this. So Azure management tools available in Azure. So Azure portal, this one, the UI mostly, the main page. Inside portal there will be option Azure PowerShell. So this is considered as one of the tools. As I already told, WBD, okay, Windows Virtual Desktop. So that kind of automation you can do using PowerShell, Azure PowerShell. Then Azure mobile app. This one, uh, from my point of view, I have not used much, so I'm not explaining much. But CLI, yes, it is must. Then Azure Cloud Shell. Then it comes Azure REST API. Any REST API related things, it is not mandatory, but again it comes to picture when you have such scenarios, when you are using or integrating anything with your REST API. Okay, out of this you can use any one, or as per your requirement you can go up to two or three maximum. Okay, so next we'll come to Azure Monitor. If you can see here, and this Azure Monitor actually maximizes the availability and the performance of the application and services by collecting, analyzing, and acting on telemetry from cloud and on premises. So, if you can see this, all these things, these all are the features of your Azure Monitor. Application insights, log analytics, smart alerts, automation actions, customized dashboard. Through this dashboard, you can check everything, this insights, analytics, everything. Okay, so activity logs means it will record all the resource creation and modification events, and whatever the metrics here. Metrics means it measures resource performance and consumption. So you can add an Azure Monitor agent to collect operational data for a resource. Okay, so overall you can say it, Azure Monitor, it starts collecting data as soon as you create an Azure subscription and add a resource. It will start your monitoring. So next we can come to Azure Advisor. Okay, so Azure Advisor is nothing. It gets proactive, actionable, and you can say this is as your personalized best practice recommendation. Why? If you can see all these features, reliability, security, performance, cost, operational excellence, all this, it improves the performance, security, and availability of your resources. Okay, it identifies opportunities to reduce your Azure cost. If you go to here, somehow you'll manage to lower down your cost, okay, as per your usage. So next will come to Azure Security. So if you see here, Azure Security Center, there will be like it is just a monitoring service. Like Azure Monitor, it is also another monitoring service that provides the threat protection across both Azure and on-premises data center. This one you can see in your Azure portal. So these are all the best benefits like provide security recommendation, detect and block malware, analyze and identify potential attacks, just in time access control for ports. All these are, some advantages, or you can say some features. Okay, so this is the security. Next, but here if you'll see, then it comes the Azure Key Vault. It is very important because whenever you'll go for any kind of credential, tokens, private key, and what else? Mm, yeah, mostly tokens, private key, and credentials. So there you need to keep all this secret related thing in one central place. Okay, so this is one place. So this is used for secret management. I mean key management, in the sense you can say private key if you want to put. So key management certificate also you can keep, and it is also used for storing secrets backed by hardware security modules. So there will be one module like HSMS, but this is not mandatory. So mostly you can check with these three: one secrets, key, certificates. Okay. Then we'll come to net secure network connectivity. This is very important because for connectivity from some on-premises to cloud environment, whenever you will connect, how will connect? So there should be some kind of your secure network connection should be there. Okay. So for that, we create network security group for Azure Firewall, for Azure Application Gateway, Azure Distributed Denial of Service, that is called DDoS protection. So we'll cover one by one. Okay. So first, if you can see NSG. So this NSG is filter network traffic to and from Azure resources on Azure Virtual Network. Okay. So this actually sets inbound and outbound rules to filter by source and destination IP addresses, port, and protocols. So this network security groups adds multiple rules also as needed within the subscription limits. Azure applies default baseline security rules to a new NSGS. So one more thing is that it I think yes, it overrides default rules with new and higher priority rules. So some kind of rules we need to set it here. Then it comes Azure Firewall. So Azure Firewall is nothing, is stateful uh, managed firewall. Firewall as a service, you can say FAAS. Okay. who is grants and denies server access based on originating IP addresses in order to protect network resources. So Azure Firewalls applies inbound and outbound traffic filtering rules. So it is a built-in high availability, you can say. Next, you can say unrestricted cloud scalability also, and this one uses your Azure monitoring logging also. Okay, so next comes Azure Application Gateway. So Application Gateway also provides a firewall, web application firewall, WAF. WAF means your mostly web application firewall. Okay, so this WAF provides centralized inbound protection for your web application. So that's why it's called like WAF, and this comes under your Azure Application Gateway. So next is Azure Distributed Denial of Service. So if you'll see, so this is sanitizes under one unwanted network traffic before it impacts service availability. Means this is the basic service tier, you can say. It is automatically enabled in Azure. Okay, this is also you can say this is standard service tier that adds mitigation applicabilities that are you can say tuned to protect Azure virtual network resources. So I can say in simply, let's say DDoS attacks the overwhelm and exhaust network resources, making your application slow and unresponsive. So that all these things it will take care of. Okay. So next comes identity governance and privacy for Azure. So there are some, if you'll see here, core Azure identity services. So first one is authentication and authorization. Next is Azure Active Directory, then Azure multi-factor authentication, then conditional access. So if you'll go to first one, authentication and authorization. So what is authentication actually first? And both are different actually. So if you'll go for authentication, it identifies the person or service seeking access to a resource. But authorization means it will determine some authenticated persons or services level of access. Okay, so these two are different. Then Azure Active Directory, AAD. So Azure Active Directory is your Microsoft Azure's cloud-based identity and access management service. So it authenticates, your employee sign in to access resources, and it is all single sign-on, SSO mostly. And this is application management based, also used for business to business. I can say for business to customer also identity services it takes care of it. Then device management also. Then we'll come to Azure multi-factor authentication. So here this Azure multi-factor authentication, it will provide additional security for your identities, okay, by requiring two or more elements for full authentication. Let's say first label will be something you already know. Okay, next label it will come something you processes or possesses. Third label what it will come, something that you add. So all this label wise it will set the authentication. So these are all the core Azure identity services. Next, move to Azure governance methodologies. These are all important. So we'll cover one by one. So first one is our role-based access controller, RBAC. So what exactly this means? So I can say this is some fine-grained access management. Overall, on higher level view, you can say it is fine-grained access management. But what does exactly it do? It segregates duties within the team and grants only the amount of access to users that they need to perform their job. If you want to perform any specific task, so for that specific task, whatever defined access is there, only that will be given, not more than that. Okay, so it enables access to the Azure portal and controlling access to your resources. Then resource lock. Resource lock, it will protect your Azure resources from the accidental deletion or modification. Okay, it manage logs at subscription level and resource group or individual resource level within the Azure portal. Let's say some log type will be there, some there will be some log type, like there are mostly three. I don't remember exactly, but the used one, mostly used one is cannot delete and read only. Okay, so in cannot delete, you cannot delete that resource, but you can read and update. So if you go for read only log type, then there you can read only, means you can read but you cannot update and read it. So this kind of some restriction will be there for each of your resource log type. So then we'll come to tags. Tags, it provides, I can say, tags provides metadata for your Azure resources. Logically, if I'll say, it will organizes your resources into a taxonomy. So it consists of a name value pair. Okay, like attribute, in attribute key value pair, it will also consist of a name and value pair. So it is very useful for your rolling up billing information. So that time you need to tag, like I already told you, there will be some subscription like for test dev and let's say what was more there, prod. So each of fetch, you need to create one tag, so that after the uses of that resources, you will get separate billing for each of those tags. Okay, then comes Azure policy. This policy, like, in simple way, policy means what exactly? So same thing, some certain of rules. Okay, so Azure policy also same. It helps to enforce organization standards and to access compliance at scale. So it will provide governance and resource consistency with some, you can say, regulatory compliance, security, cost, and management. All these things will come under your Azure policies. So it overally, you can say, evaluates and identifies Azure resources that do not comply with your policies. So Azure policy also provides built-in policy and initiative definitions under some categories, such as, you can say, storage, networking, computer, or sorry, computing, security center, and monitoring. So it all predefined things. Okay, that is already said by Azure. So next it will come. So this one, all the privacy and compliance. After, once your Azure policy is set, some features, or I mean some criteria, we need to have in our place, like you can say privacy. It is same for all, you know all clouds. It's not just only for Azure. So privacy, obviously you should have, like, it's a committed to ensuring the privacy of all the organization through our contractual agreement and by providing users control and transparency, because it is provided by a third party vendor like Azure, by whom it is managed, Microsoft, right? So there should be some contractual agreement, yes, agreements with your organization. Then compliance. Compliance means it all respects to the local laws and regulations and provide comprehensive coverage of compliance offerings. Next is Microsoft privacy statement. As it is Azure, obviously it is managed by Microsoft. So this Microsoft privacy statement provides openness and honesty about how Microsoft handles the user data collected from its products and services. So there will be one trust center to manage everything. So how? So you just need to learn about the security, privacy, compliance policies, all the features and practices that across Microsoft's cloud products. Okay, like Microsoft cloud products again. What all are these? Emails, calendars, Microsoft 360, 365. Okay, all these are the Microsoft's cloud product, and Microsoft cloud products means it will come under your software as a service. Okay, so next we'll come to our last segment. It is Azure pricing and support. So these are the very primary, factors on which your pricing actually depends. So first is resource type. What kind of resource you are taking? Okay, it is storage, your network, or computing, all this type. Then services means I already told some functionalities will be there like email, let's say some analytics. All these are your services. Location means again I already explained it is in region. It depends on some region. The cost for some resource type will be more, but at the same time in different location the price or cost for resource same resource type it will low. So this is the location based factors on the on which your costs or price are getting evaluated. Next is bandwidth. Bandwidth is nothing like, mostly I can say, how frequently you are using, or you can say like some certain SLA will be there, like on which time period you are using. Okay, then reserved instances, then Azure hybrid use benefits. See, if you'll go for hybrid again, so hybrid means what? You will use your public plus private cloud, right? So public cloud, yes, we can understand there will be some certain of amount, but what about private cloud? That organization bears that amount, so how that will be managed? Okay, so at the end pricing calculator will be there, like if you'll see here, one, see, this is the page. Okay, what you will need to do, see total cost of ownership TCO calculator. Here you can, first I'll show you. See, server level, databases, storage, networking, what all these are your resources, what resources you are using for specific resources. Okay, let's say you are using some servers, so you need to specify all the, these points in the sense, these values, like how much RAM you want, how much core, workload, how much it will be. On the, if you put everything, every details, let's say web app you are using, okay, environment, let's say you'll obviously in you'll use virtual machines. Then operating system will take Linux. VMs, how much will take? Let's say two, just for example, okay. This one VMware, so this is your, again comes under private cloud. So here uh, we can take Hyper-V. Course, again you can put it between 1 to 32. RAM also, that range is there. Everything after setting up, by memory, by CPU, both we can do. Okay. So after that, you need to put it next. Okay, next means it will show how much cost it will show after some certain amount of period, like maybe for 1 year, 2 year, anything. So this is the pricing calculator. So mostly you, all you can do it inside your Azure portal itself. If you can see here, there will be some not option, there will be some fields where you need to put the value, like which region, tire, billing option, support option. So support options, it is optional, but programs and offers, Azure Dev Test pricing, this all are mandatory field you need to put. After putting this, you can check how much the cost. Cost in the sense it is not hard coded, like it, it all depends on the usage of your resources. But this will give you one estimated price. Okay, so that's why the pricing calculator is a tool that helps you estimate the cost of Azure products. It's not the accurate one, but yes, it will be around that estimated value. The options that you can configure in the pricing calculator vary between products, but basic configuration option include all these things: region, operating system, type, tier, and instance. Okay, so instance we already see here. Instances means this one. Okay, RAM, all these things optimized by CPU or memory, all this you need to give. If you'll give the auto scaling option, okay, so then maximum instances you can give, and the peak load per month, like per month when the peak will be there. Okay, you just need to put one average value. It's not like you need to give the accurate one. Then workload to, like this you can add it. Okay, so you all see, like I think we all cover up. This is the final one, pricing calculator. I think we all covered basic things. Some of those things I didn't cover due to some time we couldn't cover, but yes, if you go through all the basics things, then you are all good to go with cloud. And there will be some, there will be many sites, direct sites, it is already there, you can have a look. If it is required, I can provide all these direct links. You can go through one by one. Okay, so I just took the reference from here because this is the Azure Microsoft, azure.microsoft.com. This is the official site. For doc also it will be document.microsoft.azure.com. Okay, here I think I can, so this is the document, see, docs.microsoft.com. You can cover everything, but it's very difficult to cover one by one single things, but very basic to start with, cloud. This all are I already covered. Yeah, that's all. If you have any queries, please go ahead. I think that's all from my side. I hope I make you understand every single bit. So that's all, thank you.
Ma'am, we have a question from Vittal. He asked, does pricing vary for different regions?
Yes, yes it does. As per our location it varies.
And ma'am, we have another question from Shubham. Shubham asked that where can we start learning cloud from?
Yes, if you have the subscription, then it is good to have, or else always go with the, like official site. Just now I shown you, right? Microsoft own site. Don't check here and there. Simply go to Microsoft site. There, everything will be there and updated one. Because see, in cloud, this is things every day it is evolving. So every day or every month or every year it is getting some features. So better I always suggest to go with the official site. And please have a subscription with you so that you can have, your work around. Yes, next one.
So, guys, if you have any other doubts, you can post it in the live chat and we can surely ask ma'am to answer that question. Okay, so Dasari is asking how to get participation certificate. So let's come to that point as well. As you all can see that I have shared the Discord link of the Azure Developer Community server. You all can join the Discord channel of this community, and there you will be getting all the certifications as well as you can earn Microsoft certification exam vouchers and also get a chance to win goodies from Microsoft as we conduct quiz on every Friday there. So you can participate in that quizzes and you all can uh, win the swags from Microsoft as well. And I don't think anyone have any other doubts, so I think we can end the session. Thank you, ma'am, for coming here, taking out your time and teaching us cloud. I hope our attendees would have learned a lot. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for being such a lovely audience and spending your time here. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vipul. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Same to you.